Hi, and welcome to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour on this beautiful Friday evening. Tonight, our very special guest and dear friend is Anthony Lafemina. Anthony is a retired New York City police officer, and now he currently owns the Devil's Den Tattoo Parlor located on Montauk Highway in Copiague. Hi, Tony. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you guys? It's good to be here.
Really good.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. I want to thank you for the beautiful flowers that you gave
You're
me.
welcome.
Engineered.
Now I'm going to get in trouble. Now I got to bring flowers when I go home.
Well, there you go.
Three
people
girls.
deserve
There's
flowers.
4 girls
Yeah,
in that
that's
house.
true. That's true.
So $80. Thanks.
Oh,
Sorry.
4 girls?
It's good. I have 3 girls and my
daughters.
wife.
You have 3? You know what? I thought you had 2 daughters.
Me too.
Oh,
I was hoping to
daughters.
get, 3 daughters.
So you never get
4
bathroom
daughters.
time.
Bathroom?
You
No, I
gotta
just
know.
had a beautiful bathroom put in, yeah.
Do you
Can't
get
use that
into-
one either. In the morning when I get up and I have a little coffee and the topic we're going to discuss, I like my little bit of quiet time. And still, I'll be like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Like, no. Downstairs, Pop, downstairs.
Yeah.
Like, you're kidding me, right? No, I have to do my hair, and it's going to stink in here. So I just sit out. I just go outside on the lawn.
Yeah, because doing the hair is an hour.
I go out on the lawn. I have
At
the
least.
poop guy come. He picks it up. He cleans it up.
Well, and your girls are young still, so wait till
Yeah,
they
that's
get
it.
of age where crimping and
I know.
the hair becomes
Already,
a
I'm
big issue.
folding bras. I'm like, what is this, a yarmulke? What is that? It's so little. I go, I swear to God, this happened. I said, honey, are these yours? I'm like, these are cute. She goes, those are Frankie's, you jackass. I'm like, she goes, those wouldn't fit me. Frankie's 12. I'm like, these are nice. You should get a pair of these for you. Same size. They'd be cute. But,
Well-
you know.
Well, I know.
It is what it is.
I have 3 daughters. Now a granddaughter. So now,
Oh, thanks. So
Just keep-
I just
just-
keep calling you every time I need something.
there you go.
That's our AAA. A couple of other cops with similar issues. We call ourselves AAA.
AAA.
Call AAA. If you're stuck, sometimes you get stuck. You're stuck, call AAA.
Okay, well, I got to throw my number in there, too. I got to get on the list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really it's helpful to so many people. You know, just to like, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling good today. I want to kill my wife. Okay, don't kill your wife. Come over here. Let's meet. Let's talk. And then 2-3 minutes, guy goes, I feel better. All right, good. AAA. That's all you get stuck in a rut.
There you go. Is there a few of you guys?
Excuse me. Oh, is that your water? Is this supposed to be your bottle?
Vodka?
Yeah. I'm saying, what the hell are they putting there? Jesus.
mine over here.
Trying to kill me.
Well, I want to say that usually Vinny and I try to have a show, with some comedy or sleight of hand, illusionist, some music. Tonight's going to be a little more serious, but I do feel, and Vinny feels the same way, it's really important, the subject we're going to touch on tonight, which is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, which Anthony is going to go into detail with no holds barred about this subject. So he will enlighten not only Vinny and I, but everybody who's watching. And I'm just going to ask everybody if they can share this show, because it's visible at any point on the website at any time, not just live. Share it with people that you know, because I'm sure that we all know someone who is touched by this anxiety disorder. And the thing is, most people don't talk about it because there's a stigma attached to it. So I'm hoping tonight you'll share the show with everybody you know, because it's a really important subject. And if it's not for the people that forge through and come out to the public and talk openly about situations, the world would never be enlightened about it, and therefore would never receive help and would never get better. So Tony's actually here because he's a great guy, and he's going to try to share his experiences. So Tony,
Well, not only is it a serious subject, but Anthony's seriously a funny guy. He does some comedy.
He does.
He's hysterical.
he's a musician. He's
So-
a great tattoo artist. He's very diversified.
Way too much time on my hands. That's quite obvious.
No. But Tony,
Don't give up all the stuff I do, because the more my wife's going to be like, oh, you got way too many things to do on your own. You know what? Why don't you pick up the laundry from now on?
There you go.
I don't need that.
well, you need to help with the laundry anyway. That's a nice thing. But anyway, I want you to, first of all, tell us the extremes of PTSD.
Oh, the extremes are there's so many. It's kind of like, like I would say to a tattoo machine, there's so many different things that could happen to make your tattoo machine not work right. There's so many variables, but the extreme, unfortunately, and honestly, is suicide. That's the extreme, is death, or death of somebody else because somebody really losing it. There's a great movie out. I didn't bring the name of it, but I'll get it. And the kid comes home from war. He's there for a few months, and he cannot acclimate back to society. it's not. He's seen so much brutal stuff that he couldn't even look at his wife because he said, you know what I've done with these hands, and I've said that to my doctor. I'm like, you know, the extremes are the reality, and everybody deals with it how they deal with it, and that's great.
And it's
but
okay,
when you're
you know,
picking up, hey, listen, I was undercover most of my career. Anybody that knows me, give me the money, I'll go buy the drugs, I'll go buy the guns. I got the biggest balls out there, and guys will back me up on that. I'm not just tooting my own horn, but you don't forget picking up skull, picking up hands.
You were at 9/11. That's part of
Yeah,
it.
this is all from the World Trade Center. Yeah, I was not military. In the military, it's like that 9/11, but it's in such a short distance. You can see these kids go away for 6 months, and they could get hurt, and they come home, and they're just flying off the handle. I mean, there were times, you know, where my constantly yelling at my children gives you a lot of guilt. But the thing is, you know, the noises start to bother you. They really become like, you know, they become a fight. It's either, you know, the fight or flight. Tissues. Could have got me a towel or something.
I brought these from my office because I had a feeling I was going to need them at least.
I'll tell you a true story
It's okay,
about
too.
a psychiatrist I sat with. And I won't mention any names. But after I was done pouring my heart out to him, he passed me across the table. You know when you get a little napkin at the deli,
right.
on your coffee, that little square one?
Yeah.
He goes, here you go, buddy. I feel like saying, what the fuck you want me to do with this?
Exactly.
I'm fucking snot. I get shit all over me. I literally picked up my shirt, and then my guts sticking out. Satan loves me tattoos, you know. And I wiped my whole face down.
Well, you know, Anthony, that comes from speaking from the heart. And
right.
As long as I've known you, that's the person you are. From the day I walked in and met you, you always spoke from your heart.
Right.
And, you know, it makes it sincere, you know.
I think everybody's, you know, people get along because they're raised the same way. You know, you always meet, I mean guys from Brooklyn. I was in Hershey. I go, where are you from, man? The Bronx. I go, I knew you were a city guy. Just knew you were a city guy. It's just the way certain groups and certain people were raised.
Right.
You came into my shop. You said, I feel like I know you my whole life. I'm here for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I see it because you're good people. You just, you know.
That's the
So,
same
I mean,
old.
you're showing it here. You're getting me on here. And this is hard for me. But if just guys could understand, you know, people don't think it's a real thing. You know, they did that with fibromyalgia for years. These women are crazy. They're just stressed that, oh, now it's a disease. Yeah, we've been telling you it's a disease. These women are hurting.
Right.
But it's about, you know, I guess it's about politics and money. You know, and whether or not, I don't know if this 9/11 program is going to continue. It might end in 2 years, and then I'm on my own to get my own psychiatrist. But for years I struggled in the car. I would stay in my car and they'd say, Tony, what are you doing? Come on out. We're outside, you know, talking about the case or whatever. I'm good. It's going to hang. And eventually, when I retired, my car changed into the tattoo shop. So I'd go into the tattoo shop, 2 o'clock, shut the open sign off, go in the back and just sit back there, honestly. And sometimes I would just sob uncontrollably. And now, uncontrollably.
Is it better to be on your own? Is it better to be around people? Sometimes it's
you
different.
can't. You don't want to be around anybody. It's one of those things where if I said to you, I know how that feels, Vinny, to get my hand cut like that. You go, yeah, you cut your hand almost in half? And I go, no, it never happened. I never cut myself. But I just know how you feel.
You can't even imagine.
You can't even imagine the pain, the feelings that's going on in here. Same thing with depression. And you know what? Let me say one thing to people. If you've ever had somebody that killed themselves, whatever the reason, they're because, you know, they say, well, why would he do that? He's got children.
Right.
Now, there was a point where I tell people there was a black box over my head. My children Do I get paid for the show?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Keep the tears going. What was I saying? There's just come a time where
you're not thinking about your children. You get past. I'm good.
You're in that black box. There is no. Why didn't he think of? He wasn't thinking. She wasn't thinking.
Right.
It's such a dark, weird place, and unless you've been in it, you'll never understand it. And you know, it's nowadays, you know, I don't tear up as much. It's getting a little better. I get a little more angry, a little more, you know, road rage type angry. So I'm trying to work on that through therapy.
We just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, lost a dear friend to suicide. I was depressed a long time. She was Tina Rapone.
Oh, yeah.
I spoke with her brother on the phone there in Florida. You know, the family's lost three of their five children.
Oh, God, that's
Two to
terrible.
suicide.
Two to suicide.
And we've
I mean,
known
it's
just so many friends
an
for
obvious
years, but-
cycle. You know, I got lucky in 2002 after 9/11. I knew some things were going on. I didn't feel right. I knew someone was crying, sobbing every day into work, from work. And I went to see my doctor in Brooklyn, in Canarsie, this guy, Dr. Fiola. Great guy, amazing, just an amazing man. He goes, you're going to take this, you're going to feel better. So I'm going to take this, feel better, that's it. He goes, have I ever told you? I since you're a kid, I know you. He goes,
What was
take
this?
this, you feel better.
What was
I
this?
was taking, he gave me Zoloft.
Okay.
That doesn't happen with everybody. They try different drugs to try and keep these, you know, the symptoms from getting out of control. But he put me on it, and it really helped. It really helped. I could kind of go to work and not be as bad, but then there's some days where it would kick off. Something would kick it off, whatever it was. Even if it was driving past the West Side Highway, which I stood on, and I couldn't figure out where I was down there because everything was so flat. And I was like, where the hell are we? Like, we by the towers? I don't even know what I'm on. And I was on the West Side Highway.
This was after 9/11.
This is the next day. This is the next day. Yeah, it was just insane. But back to the Zoloft. I mean, it really helped, and I still had these issues with these anger, yelling at the kids, or loud noises, freaked me out, visions, nightmares. And before I retired, I said, you know what? Let me get some checkups. Make sure I don't have any cancers. I don't have anything from 9/11. So I did, and there was a questionnaire, mental health, and I filled it out. And the woman said, I could write your Zoloft for you from now on if you want. It'll cost you nothing. I said, oh, that's great, thank you. She goes, but I won't do it unless you speak to a psychiatrist. I said, nah, I'm cool. She goes, you can't speak about 9/11. I said, I have not since that day, and I don't want it anymore. And like, this, you know, I guess these doctors know. She just knew. Like it's just a bad thing, and you can't understand it unless you've been in it, and it's contagious. You know, it became to a point where my wife was having symptoms. You know, she was scared to come home. She was, you know, afraid I was going to be, you know, angry all the time, or just to be a dick, to be an asshole.
Right,
you know,
right.
And she didn't want any part of it. And I couldn't explain it to her, but it really.
I understand that. I mean, I'm sure it's tough on everybody, you know.
Oh, she's pretty private, so we didn't want to tell anybody too much, you know. But even you know, my family's kind of old school still. You know, like some of them, not really. Maybe some of the old timers, they're kind of like, you just don't think that way, and you'll be all right. You've seen the cycle over time. There's so many people. You know, why are these military guys? I don't know if it's true, but I heard that there were more suicides in the military from this war than we lost in the entire war. You know, why are we not, you know, why are we not believing these guys? Hey,
Right.
listen, this is what they're feeling. This is what they're seeing. This is what they're going through. Oh, it's anxiety, it's depression. No, it's a disease. You've programmed the brain to accept things in life that you shouldn't have to accept, that I have to hide from my children.
Anthony, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you have these symptoms before 9/11?
Just from being a cop, because you were undercover, you did a lot of, you saw a
Yeah,
lot.
I did do a lot of, you know, and there's guys that done a lot more than I've done, but I've done my share of, you know, undercover stuff, and you know what? It didn't bother me. Nothing really bothered me. After 9/11, I knew it was bothering me. Like, I started having these nightmares, not nightmares, you know, where you think you're half awake, half asleep, but you can't move? You're like, oh, Jesus, I can't move. I fucking hate those. I'd have 9 of those a night, you know what I mean? And it just got to the point where I'm like, I got to see these 9/11 people, and they all told me, therapy is going to get worse before it gets better.
Right, sure,
because
you have
you're
to
going to
talk
start opening up about
You have
stuff
to.
you never wanted to talk about.
Exactly.
There were things that I started to remember that I didn't remember you know, I blew it off. I still do it. I still do it.
How soon did you respond to 9/11 to the building
That
itself?
day.
You were
Came
there?
down. I went right there. Yeah.
Now, were you there right after the second crash, or
I was right after the second crash. Yeah, it was just nothing but dust all over the place.
and you were outside?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were right. No, we were right at the
point?
pier, and we were waiting to help out, and then we stayed there about. I'd say we stayed there till sometime in the morning. A few of us slept over. We just slept in the van.
I can only picture
and
that.
And then the next morning,
totally chaotic.
The next morning, yeah. I mean, that whole night until I knew my brothers were okay, it was kind of hard. But then, because the police department is, you know, we're that paramilitary and stand by. We don't want anybody getting hurt. Just chill out for a minute. And they kind of made us wait. We just hung out and watched everybody. And then
at that point, it was the firemen inside, and
yeah, they had everybody. And the second night I was off duty, you know, okay, you know, I could still help out. So guys didn't go home.
Right.
I didn't go home for 4 or 5 days. I slept at the firehouses, you know, and everybody was trying to do exactly what they were doing.
Right.
Now,
you know,
I'm sure I mean, the reason why this anxiety disorder is so prevalent is so many people are affected by it. Now, guys you work with, like we spoke about this, most people don't want to talk about it, especially a male, because you guys have this, you know, persona you have to portray, that you got to be tough at all times. God forbid you cry, which I have to give you credit for, that you come on and you're just
no, I'm not.
Real,
yeah, I'm not going to. Well,
you're real. There's no reason why you shouldn't be. You're a human being.
It probably wouldn't be this bad if I didn't have the PTSD. I could probably just speak about
it.
But
it's a way to get the message across, being honest. You know,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
A friend of mine since I was a child, actually a really good friend of my brother's, Jimmy Russo. Hey, Jimmy, is a New York City fireman. And
everybody loves the fireman.
And Jimmy, I know you said there's a unit specially for PTSD, because obviously it affects big time even firemen that, I guess, 9/11 or even their day-to-day work. Sometimes they pull out little children or whatever.
Yeah,
and everybody's
really
different.
is.
Some people can probably be mostly unfazed. I'm sure there's people that aren't as fazed by it, and then there's people that
I think people just deal with
totally
it differently.
affected. Yeah.
And I think, you know, the old days of your father beating the shit out of you because he came home drunk and he was just an Irish guy breaking his ass, working it, you know, hard. It's not my father, but I'm just saying.
Say you're Italian.
It's probably my mother's father.
My father beat the shit out of his for other reasons.
Right. So, it gets I don't even know what I'm saying. You know, you had to look at these things. You know, there was that woman that time that she killed her husband. I think he was a retired policeman or he was an old-timer. She took his revolver and she said, I'm done getting the shit kicked out of me every day. That
was recent, actually. I think.
Yeah,
right?
within a few years. Yeah,
something just was in the news
because she she got off, I think, on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was the guy a mean, crazy Irish bastard, or was he sick?
Right.
Did he see all this shit, and how does he deal with it? He goes to drinking. Maybe 10 years ago, there was an article in the papers about the police department has a drinking problem. You know, a guy got a DWI and he killed somebody. Unfortunately, somebody died. Of course, it's a tragedy. But nobody stops to take a look at the real message here. Why would you have a drinking problem? Why does anybody in any job have a drinking problem? Because you're trying to self-medicate. You're trying to you self-medicate. You don't freak out as much, right? You take a Valium. Hey, I don't feel so bad. These guys are self-medicating, and that's the reality. He's a drunk? No. He's sick, but there's that stigma. Right. Oh, you got mental problems. Yeah, I got mental problems. Smack the shit out of all 3 of you. How's that for mental problems?
People don't see it like that. You know, and those are people that are uneducated. You know, they see the suicide as like a weakness, a cop-out, selfish. You know, but sometimes there's things behind it.
But like you said, I think you get into such a deep, dark place that when you said, like, people say, oh, how can he do that to his family? You probably get so far beyond the point that you're not even, not that you're not thinking them, but you're kind of not thinking them.
You're not thinking them. They're not there anymore.
So, yeah.
They're not, it's a black hole. There's nothing there. It's like being in space. You're like, that's it. I mean, I swear to God, I would go into the garage at night and look at the rafters, and I'd say, if I did it, I'd hang myself in the rafters. I'll break my neck. But I don't want to do it.
Right.
I don't want to do it. I don't want it. I'm not leaving my children. You know, I'm like, I'm just not doing it.
You have too much going on.
I'm like, I got to take care of my kids. I'm like, I would never do it. But the thought was there every goddamn morning. And that would bring us to a different subject, and that would be treatment for PTSD.
Well, you know what? We're going to take a quick commercial break. Hold that thought, because I know there's so much you have to speak about with treatment and and all that. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back shortly with wonderful, fantastic Anthony Lafemina.
Greatest actor ever.
There you go.
Hey, I'm Tom Mealy from the Harrison Law Group. You know, soft tissue injury, that's no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. Don't waste valuable time going to firms who don't get it and can't do it. Call 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Like so many people, are your finances tight lately? Afraid to open your mail or even answer your phone? Well, take heart. You don't have to live like that. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you can join the thousands of folks who have used safe and effective government-insured reverse mortgages. The government-insured reverse mortgages from Long Island's Senior Reverse Network allow you to stay in your home and turn equity into tax-free cash. Our government-insured reverse mortgages can eliminate mortgage payments, credit card balances, or just improve your lifestyle. Do yourself a favor and solve these problems now. Call the Senior Reverse Network, and our advisors will answer all of your questions about our reverse mortgage programs. We've helped scores of senior Long Island homeowners like you who now enjoy a worry-free retirement. Get the financial security and peace of mind you've dreamed about. Pick up the phone and call us at the Senior Reverse Network now to set up a free consultation.
Call 1-800-985-REVERSE. That's 1-800-985-7383.
Told you.
Hi, and welcome back to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour with our special guest and dear friend, Anthony Lafemina.
Thank you for having me
Anthony.
back.
Thank
I
you
really
for
thought
being
you were going to
here.
get rid of me after commercial.
Never.
I'm glad to be back here.
Never. Who would I go to for tattoos if I, now that I'm
nowadays,
all tattooed up.
anybody's basement nowadays.
Yeah,
It's really not. It used to be cool to be a tattoo artist.
Now it's a black market thing.
Yeah,
Everybody's
now I'm
doing it
like,
at home.
yeah, right. I'm like, I gotta.
Nobody wants to
people
pay.
come in. Can you fix this? I can fix the tattoo. What you got during the tattoo, disease-wise, I cannot help you with.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna come sue me and tell me I
You know
gave
what?
you
Is there
hepatitis.
still a lot of off the beaten path? But is there a lot of problems where people get stuff still from dirty?
Oh, it's so
sure.
open
Hepatitis
now
big,
that
right?
Really?
Amazon.com, you can buy all the tattoo supplies you want. Go right in your basement. Bzz, the health
Yeah,
department will
that's-
fine you.
that's
like
scary.
5
Yeah, I
to 10
would think
grand.
that's so
But,
scary.
yeah, but it look, it's the way it is. The old time guys. I just went to an old time Tony Polito in Brooklyn.
Tony Polito,
Hey,
you gotta
Let me
love
tell
him.
you,
from
if
Shout
he
out
did,
to Tony.
he tattooed all of Canarsie. He tattooed all of New York, especially Brooklyn. And,
Really?
and Tony's got to be, I guess, maybe in his 70s, late 60s. And he tattooed this on me the other day. And I swore
Really?
I'd never
Just the
get
other
it.
day?
Well, 2 weeks ago. I swore I'd never get another tattoo on my chest because it hurt so bad. And then here I am sitting with this legend. Like, I never met the man, especially in the business, but I never met the man. But my brother Freddie would come home and go, check it out. I'm like, oh, shit, that's going to throw you out. My father said, you ever get a tattoo, we're going to throw you out. I'll throw you out of the house. So I used to be so afraid. He goes, no, Tony did it. And he would tell me the story, how he went in, and he only had $20, and Tony would do the outline, no color, and then he'd come back for color. I said, do you know, you've exceeded my expectations, or like my vision of this. You were this superhero to me as a child, as 6, 7, 8 years old. I hear these stories from my brother. And then we had this little secret because he wasn't allowed to have the tattoos. I said, and then I met the man. And he was just the sweetest, him and his wife, that just, like good people. Just good people. What do you want to know? I'll tell you anything you want to know. He goes, what do you want to do? I said, I'll take what, you can put an X on me and I'll be happy, Tony. You do whatever you want on me. And he did this beautiful bird. I mean, it was just a...
Does he still have a shop?
Yeah.
yeah.
Tattoos only by appointment on Saturdays. You get them on Facebook.
That's
Tony
it.
Polito, or you could put in
love
Rich,
the name,
Rich
Tony
Fi.
Polito.
Rich Fi is a great guy that works with him also. And
Only Saturdays?
Tony does, only Saturdays.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he used to do every day, but
Let me ask you, have you ever had somebody just walk in your shop and say, you do what you want kind of thing?
Yeah, I've had that, yeah.
Really?
Actually, I did that a
That's
lot
crazy.
with your producer's
That's crazy.
brother. Joey Zarilli did, I'd be like, I don't know, just do a Brooklyn thing. And he'd be
Fill
like,
in
"All right."
this area.
Yeah. I'm like, I want a human heart full of maggots on my lower back. He's like, no problem.
Oh,
Yeah, he started tattooing
Do you
my
watch the Ink Master?
I don't watch that show.
You don't watch it?
No, it's like me watching Cops.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Cops is on. Like, hey, why don't we watch that? You want, you want to watch, you want to watch construction
Bob the Builder.
videos? Yeah, you want Bob the Builder? That doesn't really happen. Bob the Builder, that happens way too big. That's not reality.
that's funny.
You're right. Those home makeovers and stuff.
Yeah.
Never. And everybody
Yeah.
loves them.
Yeah, of course. I'd love for somebody to come in and remake my house. Everybody's listening out there. I'll take whatever you
Exactly.
got.
I just,
Your wife wants the living room
Yeah.
painted, and
Right.
it's like come home from work and do work.
Yeah, but
It's
you
like-
got to paint like my grandfather used to tell. I never met the man. My grandfather said, when you guys paint, he had 13 children.
Oh.
So I can't even tell you how many boys. So he says, you guys come in here, I bring you over here to paint the house. He goes, you're singing Ave Maria. Ave Maria. Because we don't have time for that. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. That's such a story. And when my father tells me these stories, I treasure them.
Yeah,
I treasure them. I want them to go on.
Yeah, they're best.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, they
The old
really are.
Italian way. My father
Right.
still sits down and tells stories.
I tell him all the
and
time.
my
I say,
kids
"We're gonna
say,
start
Dad, tell us stories. And my kids always say, we don't have no stories to tell our kids.
Right.
Little
So
do
you
they
got
know,
those
they have
stories.
stories.
Right. When they get older, they'll
Well,
have stories.
I won't get into exactly, but we searched around because there was a tattoo that I needed, and we looked all over the internet. I made a lot of phone calls. I have a couple of little tattoos that I've gone locally, and there was something special that I needed and wanted, and we searched around, and then we found you, and we were going to go to Maryland, and then we found you, and like you said, we hit it off immediately, became friends.
It was more like a shakedown. I swear to God, that's how the phone call went. I remember like it was yesterday. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, Tony, can you tattoo this? I go, yeah, I can tattoo it. I had never done it before, but I mean, I could probably give it a try. That sounds like good. Nobody else wants to help me out of here. I'm coming in now. I'm like, yeah, but I was going to say I was going home. Yeah, but I'm leaving. And he came in and he said, you got to do this. And I'm like, all right. But we know some of the same.
Come on, that wasn't that.
I bet we got some of the same friends going by. No, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You did stand over me the whole time. I was a little.
Yeah, no.
But
He's
yeah,
good.
you know what that was? That's just
A meant
the
to be
kind of
thing.
people that
that was a
you
meant to be thing.
gravitate to. It's
Yeah.
good. Why can't you do good for people? Why, you know?
That's how I am.
And you
Yeah,
have.
gotta do
You've,
Just
good.
be good. If a guy's a douchebag, then deal with him as a douchebag. Should be dealt with.
You know, I look at
I really have no problem
the
with that.
religion thing. I look at it all the same. Everybody wants you to do what? Do the right thing.
Right. That's all you're
You know
asking.
what? No
Right.
matter what religion you are, they
Right.
all want you to do the right thing.
Personally,
So,
I'm Muslim. But
I do the right thing.
I'm kidding. I'm not.
But
Muslim. I'm nothing.
getting back to it, we left off before the commercial break that you were going to talk about treatment.
Ah, shit.
Because I don't know, is treatment just sitting
Cried all
down
my
on a
tears.
couch and speaking to a doctor? I mean, or
Treatment
it's-
is very important.
Or is it sitting on the couch and talking to a talk show host?
I think I'm getting better treatment here.
Am I getting paid?
Actually,
Am I getting paid for
you
this?
might. Actually, I asked my therapist about this, and she said this is not good for you. I said, well, I don't understand. Why is it not good for you? She says, because it's not a controlled environment. You do not have control of that studio. The directors and the producers have control of that studio. So they have to tell you to stop, or, you know, you're trying to control your emotions. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing them back down again so they don't come out. But
We don't
I'm
do
letting
that.
them out.
Yeah,
We
but
don't.
you know
We don't
what?
tell
The
nobody.
whole-
to
I'm
stop.
letting them out, and I'm
Tony,
like,
the whole-
I'm allowed to have these feelings with other people than just my doctor. And she was kind of like, okay, all right,
Well, the
but we're
whole
going to have to
purpose
work
of you
on that.
being here really is for everybody to see that, first of all, he's a man, he's a tough man, but he also has feelings, and he's gone through a lot, and hopefully other people can learn that it's okay to speak about things, right? It's okay.
Yeah, it really is okay.
You can't keep
It's-
things
I
bottled
mean,
up
we've
all
had
the time.
some.
That's
The
just
police
ridiculous.
department has
I
some
don't care if you're a
absolutely.
guy, you're a girl.
The police,
Stupid.
right? The police department has a ton of great things that they offer. But the second guys are afraid, I'm going to reach out, I'm going to be labeled, they're going to take my guns away, which is
Emasculating,
Is
sort of,
emasculating?
yeah,
Yeah,
especially-
that's the word I'm looking for.
Put you behind a desk,
Yeah, and it really is. They take your gun away. Where some other police departments, if you have a shooting, they walk right over to you, put a new firearm, take your firearm, and give you a loaded firearm. So you're not standing there based on the fact that you would feel less of a authority figure, and you shouldn't be because you're out in the street here and
Right.
we're investigating the shooting that you just had.
Right.
But they would never leave the cop without his gun. You get to a shooting, they take your guns right away. They got to go to evidence.
So is that a big problem that people not coming out
That's
and
the
letting
thing.
you know?
Right, they're afraid.
Are they like ashamed? Like I feel like I want to kill myself. I don't want to tell
I
nobody
bet
this.
there is, yeah.
I don't want people to look at me, think I'm crazy.
Right.
That
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
I
thing.
had those feelings. I had those, feelings of like, well, people are going to think I'm nuts and this and that. You know what? I'm not nuts. I just got to work some shit out.
Well,
You know what I mean? Well, that's true.
you're a little nuts.
All right, but that's,
that's a whole different
you
category.
that's the Irish and the Italian side of me.
That's another show.
Oh, my God. We'll be here for an hour show. It'll be a marathon.
How show.
I'll bring my whole family on. It'll be great.
Oh,
We'll have a
boy.
little wine, we'll eat, everybody will fight and go home and not talk to each other for 6 months. It'll be beautiful. We'll get together again during Christmas.
Make like nothing happens.
So listen,
Right.
do they try to medicate you? I mean, you talked about the Zoloft. Is there all
there-
kinds of different medications? I know
That's
there's some that bring on some
Big-
crazy
There are.
stuff.
There are, and people are right away like, I don't need anything. Oh, whoa. Wait a second. If I told you your heart didn't work right and you had to take these pills, you would take
Right,
them.
you
wouldn't
would take them.
Okay, so why wouldn't you take something for your brain? It's just another organ in the body. We tend to think we're so smart. We have no idea what this universe is about. We like to pretend we do. Zoloft was great. When I started going through therapy, it was hard, and they put me on, what did they put me on first? Klonopin. And Klonopin, my wife, God bless her, she knew everything about that drug before I even took it. And,
Well, that's what you should do, get educated.
yeah,
You have
she-
the internet for
you know,
that stuff,
right,
and that's
exactly.
a beautiful thing, yeah.
And, of course, everything on the internet is true. And,
Well, no, but
no, I'm
that's
kidding.
why you
I'm
research
kidding.
and read
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah,
that's part of my act.
Yeah.
The Klonopin was pretty glazing. It got rid of the nightmares, the night sweats, the being trapped under. I always felt like I was trapped in the bed. I couldn't get up. It worked great for that, and it gave me the suicidal thoughts and a constant sobbing. I mean, constant. My wife would be like, "What are you doing? Come on, I gotta go. You're gonna ruin everything. I'm gonna be late." But she'll really talk like that because she's half Irish, half Italian, like me. But she doesn't really talk like that. I don't want you to think of like a little old Italian woman in the
Yeah,
house.
no, we met her. She's adorable.
Get out of here!
She's a beautiful lady, yeah.
And she would just husband and wife talk, and it would crush me. I mean, crushed me to the point where first time it happened, I was I was sobbing. I said, you can't talk to me like that. Because there is no violence towards my wife. Like, there's no violent feelings towards her. It was just the opposite. I was totally hurt. Where somebody else might set off my PTSD and I feel violent. I feel like, I want to knock this guy out. Like, it's really a weird thing, and a lot of times that's the drug. So you got to say, you must say to your doctor. Sometimes the doctors want to say, give it another 2 months, give it another 3 months.
Those 2 or 3 months could be detrimental, right?
The problem is they're called benzo. I don't have the whole word, but they're like basically addictive drugs. They're narcotics. Okay. So once you're on this Klonopin, some people say you shouldn't be on it for more than 2 weeks. Excuse me.
2 weeks? Oh, like you're 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off kind of thing?
No, like 2 weeks and then you got to wean off it. But I was on it for a few months that I had to go on Valium to wean off from the Klonopin because the Klonopin was really just fogging me out.
Yeah, but I don't understand that. How can you take a medication for 2 weeks and then they think that your problems are all going to be solved?
No,
and you're a better person
they say you shouldn't. Some people say you shouldn't be on it for more than 2 weeks because the side effects are that severe.
Right.
So why be on it at all?
You hear these commercials and they say if you're a teenager or a young adult, there may be suicidal thoughts. I promised I wouldn't curse. What the fuck are we doing that we're giving people drugs? The military stopped giving Klonopin to the soldiers. My doctor stopped prescribing Klonopin to people. So what do we do? And it all comes back to that big pharmaceutical, big money, and people, nothing I can do about it. There's something you can do about it. Don't take the fucking pills. Throw them out. Tell the doctor, no, this is not for me. We're going to have to try something else. Right. You're in charge, not the doctor.
You have the right for that.
You absolutely say, no, I want to come off
They tried to give me things for my hand, and I was like, I don't want to take them.
Right, and I'm the same way. I don't want to be addicted to pills. I'm like, that's what what's going to happen. But how else are you going to work with your symptoms? If you're going to go get, some people take the pill and they go, I feel better, I don't need anything. I did that in the beginning. I feel better, I don't need anything. And in reality, I was stuffing it and stuffing it and stuffing it and stuffing it, and it exploded.
I had a friend I played hockey with, and young guy, he was actually on the police force in the city in his early 20s, and he had a depressed nature about him, and he got on medication, and then I hadn't seen him for a while, then I saw him again, and I could tell his personality how something wasn't right. And he said, I stopped taking the pills. I didn't like the way they made me feel. And he was like 2 different people, Yeah. And he went off the medication, and eventually, there was one suicide attempt, and I believe he left the police force. And he was successful. It's probably about 4 or 5 years now, but and it's heartbreaking because I saw the battle with him. I saw he was a great kid, came from a great family. He was a very talented hockey player. Right. He was amazing.
The problem with
talented.
these drugs, you can't just stop them because the withdrawals are so severe. And I've had withdrawal symptoms from them. I missed a dose, or maybe I didn't take it at the right time. And the withdrawals are that black, deep depression. You go into this really, you think you were depressed before? Check this shit out. Like, you think that's good weed? Try this weed. Like on the street. It was bad. I was like, this is... The doctor told me, he said, if you stop this cold turkey, you're going to be very uncomfortable. I guarantee you will be in the hospital, and you may have convulsions. That's the severity of it. The convulsions is going to lead you to death.
And that was like, how do you say it?
Klonopin. Klonopin. I think the official name is chlorenzepam or clonazepam. They make it so that you can't pronounce it.
Right.
And this way you can't sue them.
By taking the Klonopin, did it make you feel better at the time of taking it?
The Klonopin was for the nightmares.
But you said it kind of made you feel like a zombie.
It did.
It blocked everything, but it blocked everything.
I slept great, but it did block everything.
You got rid of the nightmares, but you became the nightmare.
Yeah, it was like living a nightmare. My wife, we talk now, and it's like, I said, it's so good to be home. It's so good to be here. Me, I'm like, doesn't mean you can be mean to me. I still got a little, I'm still sick, babe.
Well,
I can't do the laundry. It makes me think.
She's got to be an extraordinary woman, though, because you fight together, and you have this family, and I can't say from experience. I can't say I know how it. Just like you said before, people say, "Oh, no, I can't," but I can say she's probably a really strong woman to stick by it, and she's probably been through her stuff. But yeah, like how did you?
She's got her, you know, she's got her tragedies in her life as well, you know.
I mean, it must have been hard for you to interact with your kids too, though, which is heartbreaking. You probably.
I couldn't speak to my kids. I'd come home after they were asleep in the morning. I still take Valium in the morning, but at that time I was taking a little bit more. I was probably taking 2 in the morning. Getting the kids ready for school and you know, they're all talking and loud and it's not bothering me, and then all of a sudden, boom! It just kicks in the noise. Just somebody screams or somebody drops a fork on their plate, and it triggers it, and it triggers that, you know, it's that sound. And I wasn't there to see people landing in the dirt and landing on the parts of the building, but I had seen a video of it, you know, some real raw footage that we had in the police department. That sound haunts me to this day. It is, you know, if you watch that video, you hear boom, boom. Those are the bodies.
I've had friends that were there.
And Tommy, right? Tommy Moore. Tommy was there, saw stuff, heard stuff.
Yeah, everybody's.
I can't even imagine.
You can't imagine how many different people were down there. I'm like, you know, people are like, were you down there? I'm like, well, of course I was down there. I was a cop. But there was so many other people that I met down there. Like, I mean, my first day there, I ran into my buddy Joe Kennedy. He's a fireman. First day there, I go, Joe. You know, we almost both had that look, like, what the fuck, you know? We were trying to move an ambulance, and under the ambulance, a girl died, passed away. She got crushed. But, you know, what is this? What is this? Oh, this PTSD. It's just, you know, it doesn't bother. It does bother me. I do see her without a face. I do see the hand I picked up with, you know. I for the longest time, I would joke about it. They'd be like, well, what'd you find? I wouldn't talk about it. So if somebody brought it up and they'd say, hey, were you raking through rubble? Like, yeah, you know, just whatever. I kind of blow it off. Like, what'd you find? I'm like, oh, yeah, no, one time I found a hand. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I got a nice diamond ring from Maureen. It's beautiful. And they're like, oh, you're so terrible. Because if I didn't make the joke. I'd be sobbing. Right. And I knew you have to make that joke. And there's cops out there, there's people out there, there's military kids out there that, you know what, get the help. Just go on the internet. There's some of these PTS websites you go on, you sign up, they call you. Hey, how are you? How are you feeling? I want to know how you're doing. Call me anytime, 631-456-7342. Me and my buddies, we call AAA. If you're stuck in a rut, call AAA. Call one of us.
That's awesome.
You know what? That was
I feel shitty today.
Very heartfelt that Tony just gave his number for anybody to reach out to him. This guy's really sincere.
Actually, it's Vinny's number.
Yeah. I knew that number sounded familiar.
No, but you know what?
I don't know my number. I never call it.
If it's not for people like you just saying that and being there for, like I do that with the breast cancer. I have people call me up and say, I have somebody going through this. Will you talk to them? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They call me. We speak. Sometimes we speak for 2 hours. I meet them. We go get a bite to eat. You can ask me any question. Doesn't matter what it is. The medical end of it.
Right.
The sexual end of it. You know, like, what's your relationship like? After there's so many things. Yeah. Come on, let's go in the bathroom. I'll show you my stuff. You know, I'm good.
Now?
I'm good. Yeah, come on. No, but I'm good. Look at me. I'm healthy. I play hockey. I sing in a band. But if I don't advocate and speak to women and let them know, look, you're going to be okay.
Now I get guys calling all the time. I got breast cancer. Can I see?
No, but you know what I mean. Let people know that there is an outcome that can be positive. So by me talking to women,
absolutely,
and you know, because I've sent some women your way too. But you know, if you don't talk about it, you might not be helping anybody. And
it helps.
That's how I feel. Right? It helps. I literally wanted to go on talk shows. I wanted to make a video. I've made. Yeah, thank God. I made a video on my iPhone of me sobbing, trying to explain these withdrawals and trying to explain these night terrors, these visions, this constant intrusive thoughts, and not being able to eat. And I made this 20-minute video, and I couldn't send it. I wanted to put it on YouTube, and I said, this thing's going to take off. People will start to understand and start to believe that, hey, maybe the guy doesn't have a drinking problem. Maybe the guy doesn't have a marital problem. Maybe there's something else going on, you know, especially for cops, you know, or any guys that are in that kind of business where, you know, every day for 20 years, you know, that's going to take a toll on you, buddy. You're going to get sick. We know if you smoke for 20 years, you might get cancer. So if you do this kind of work for 20 years, it's going to affect parts of your brain. But it's going to shrink things and do things.
I do feel, and I know your life is really filled up, but I do feel like by you just reaching out and giving your phone number, I think the more people you talk to, Your phone's going to ring off the hook. He gives flowers, too. So no.
Did I give the shop number? No, I'm just kidding.
She's digging a hole for you, pal.
Yeah, I'm digging my own hole.
I mean, listen, it might actually make you feel better if people ring you up and you're able to kind of help them through it. That might be part of therapy to help you.
It wasn't even my idea. A buddy of mine lives in Boston. We were undercovers together, and he's going through some hard times. And he wasn't so bad when he reached out to me. You know, I saw a cousin of his, and he said, "Hey, you gotta get hold of Tony. He's having a hard time." And I had a hard time talking to him because I was constantly getting upset. He's like, "Look, dude, AAA, you call them, you need them, they come, right?" I says, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" He goes, "Think of me as AAA. When you have a problem, I want you to call me."
Right.
And I did. And I tell you, for a few months, thank God for him, because he really worked me through this, where I'd get off the phone and go, "All right, man, I'm going to be okay."
It's like a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like
do you know, let me ask you this.
And now, I turned around, and he fell on some hard depression, and I'm there for him every day. I text him, "How you feeling today, buddy?" And I made the recommendation that maybe you should try some Zoloft. And he tried some Zoloft, and now every day he's like, "I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little depressed about this and that, but I'm feeling better." I'm like, "Oh man, I couldn't tell my wife." I would get off the phone with him and say, "Honey, I'm afraid he's going to hurt himself. Now, I don't know what to do." Right. He said he's not going to hurt himself, but he's really in a bad way. And she's like, "Yeah, well, you were that way 2 months ago, And I'm like, "All right, well, maybe and we've been helping each other out, and both of us have been, I want other cops to reach out to me. Because I'm retired. Guys are afraid if they reach out on the job, like, they might get in trouble, or maybe they're not allowed to be, carry a gun if you have, and you shouldn't have a firearm if you are going through some serious things.
Right.
And that goes back to the whole, it's a vicious cycle. You gotta say, hey, I had a shooting, and thank God I wasn't shot, and it was one visit to the psychologist. One visit to the department psychologist. They sat me in the room for 8 hours. Somebody came out and said, "What are you waiting here for?" I said, "I had a shooting." He said, "Oh, come on in." So all I had to do was come in. I didn't know. I walk in, 2-3 minutes. "How you feeling?" "Everything good." "Okay, you all right?" "Yeah, I'm good. Thanks." That's a traumatic event when somebody fires a gun at you and you fire back and hit them. It's a traumatic event for anyone, man, woman, child.
People like imagine.
People say, "Well,
there."
Right." People go, "You're a cop. You got to expect that shit."
Yeah, see, that's
bullshit. You're a cop. You got to expect that shit. I don't go to work to get hurt. I go to work to help people. I don't go there to hurt people.
Right.
But again, it's that cycle of just being.
It's a catch-22.
No,
damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right. It's like I want to lower my taxes. Never going to happen. I can write all the letters I want. My taxes ain't getting lowered until I move
that's
away.
That's how I feel. Sometimes
but you know what? You feel like you can't fight City Hall.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
You can't fight. So don't fight City Hall.
The higher hand is, is way above, and you can't do anything about it. That's how I feel.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, even at work, they go to meetings. So, what's it going to do? Me, I'm going to say something that's going to, affect the union, the job. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
And I just feel like all the higher ups,
Yeah, it's everybody has an agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
My agenda is my family. That's it.
I'm going to ask you after the commercial break. I want you to think about this. What's the extension like? Can people get past this anxiety disorder? But we're going to take a quick commercial break,
and
I'll
tell you
all
about
I want you to address that. Okay.
What was the question?
When your cable's on the fritz, you get frustrated. When you get frustrated, your daughter imitates. When your daughter imitates, she gets thrown out of school. When she gets thrown out of school, she meets undesirables. When she meets undesirables, she ties the knot with undesirables. And when she ties the knot with undesirables, you get a grandson with a dog collar. Don't have a grandson with a dog collar. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. When your cable company keeps you on hold, you get angry. When you get angry, you go blow off steam. When you go blow off steam, accidents happen. When accidents happen, you get an eye patch. When you get an eye patch, people think you're tough. When people think you're tough, people want to see how tough. And when people want to see how tough, you wake up in a roadside ditch. Don't wake up in a roadside ditch. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. When you pay too much for cable, you throw things. When you throw things, people think you have anger issues. When people think you have anger issues, your schedule clears up. When your schedule clears up, you grow a scraggly beard. When you grow a scraggly beard, you start taking in stray animals. And when you start taking in stray animals, you can't stop taking in stray animals. Stop taking in stray animals. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and
Oh, we're on camera, sorry. We're back. And
now they all know how it is when we're off camera.
Right before the commercial break, I asked Tony, and then we talked about it while the commercials were on. I'd like to think, and I know there's no real answer to this, but that somewhere, somehow down the line when somebody suffers with PTSD, that we can know that somewhere down the line they will be better and they will get better. But that's an unanswerable question because it depends on each person.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. And you can only hope that I hope that someday your life is pretty much, well, altogether freed of all the feelings.
You have to look at the entire history of it, and I'm not old enough to look at a broad history of it. But growing up, there was always those guys from Vietnam in the neighborhood. Yeah. You know, they go, "Oh, he's shell shocked." You know, "Oh, that's crazy Sal. He's out of his mind." Yeah, he's out of his mind. He's out of his mind because of what he saw in Vietnam. That's why he's out of his mind. His brain got fucked up, and that's why he's fucked up like that.
My Uncle Paul was in Vietnam. Shout out to Uncle Paul. Love you.
Uncle Paul.
If you need a tattoo, you see it. Just recently, a friend of mine, and he was in Vietnam. I was telling you earlier, he did like 4 years in Vietnam. You know, like some people tell him like, hey, it's 67 to 68. He's like, 64 to 70 or something crazy number. You know, you're like, oh my God. And he's the sweetest,
that's crazy,
sweetest man you ever meet. His name is Buddy. I won't say his last name. He's living the life down south. And he just the sweetest man you could know. And then they grabbed him and they pulled him in. They said, what's the problem? He says, well, I'm having a lot of road rage. You know, I'm having a lot of anger issues. He's having PTSD. They go, you have PTSD. He goes, what the fuck is PTSD? Like shell shock. He goes, oh. He goes, I had that earlier when I was a kid when I came back. But I didn't, you know, it went away. So did it go away? No, he had an agenda. He had a family to take care of. He didn't have time for that.
Wow. And
you bury it. So he never worked through it. So can you get better? Yeah, you'll really learn how to if you do the therapy. And it's unfortunate. You know what? I don't know how long the 9/11 program is going to last. That I'm going to be able to get this great therapy that I'm getting, which I'm sure is expensive. But I do have, you know, benefits, and you pay. Right. You know,
so the 9/11.
I just love this doctor so much that I wouldn't want to lose her.
So they offer that what through the police department, for the firemen, through the fire department.
For anybody who's down there. It's not just first responders. You could have your plumbers, your iron workers. You know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we hope to keep it going.
You know what? Right. It's basically whether or not the government's going to fund it.
And there was so much controversy. I forget the name of the guy that was trying to get the bill, and he did get the bill. I forget his name. I knew him when I used to waitress. He would come into the restaurant. You know the guy I'm speaking of? That was at.
You're talking to a police officer that passed away?
No.
Oh.
He was fighting for to pass the bill. I forget his name. You know him though, but you know.
What bill was it?
He was all over the news all the time. I guess for the insurance or you know what?
It might have been for the money for the 9/11 program. I mean, it really is.
I think that's what it was.
They
he
really
fought and fought.
I mean, I could say I'm having funny. My breathing's funny. You know, I have GERD, which is like a step away from Barrett's esophagus, which is a step away from cancer. Wow. So you take the medicine for the GERD, otherwise you don't get better. I've been taking the medicine for 2 years. It's still terrible, but. Where were we? I lost track of what we were talking about. But all these things that happen to you, you know, it's history. What are we going to see? It didn't even happen like, you know, Vietnam, we said, oh, this guy's got cancer because of Agent Orange. you know, oh, maybe that was it. You're goddamn right that was it,
Right,
you know?
right.
And now you got these guys that, you know, oh, maybe it was 9/11. Maybe they got PTSD. Yeah. Wake the fuck
You
up.
think?
Yeah.
You really got to, you know, put that money into, yeah, there's people out there.
Now, is there people that are born with this, or is there something that triggers this and makes this?
No,
It's a trigger.
you're not predisposed to
No,
it. I
yeah.
mean, you know,
I did
maybe
some
as an
research.
adult, maybe if you had a hard childhood.
But
then
also
you'd be
rape.
predisposed, but yes,
Any
rape
kind
victims
of
would be the
violence,
same
any
thing.
kind of, because I did
Will
some
give you
research.
PTSD.
Very
violent-
dramatic.
You could
violent
get it
trauma-
just
yeah.
from watching it on the news. You could say, you know what, you see, I mean, people saw some really terrible things.
Yeah.
You know, to be there and touch it and smell it, that's what made it hard for the people down there because,
Right.
you know, you grab a bag of cement, it smells like 9/11 to me.
Right. Well, I was down.
Yeah,
I was
I can
down
understand that.
for Hurricane
You know that-
Katrina,
Oh, okay. So
and people used to see the pictures on TV, and I'm saying, but you know, you don't smell it. You don't smell the rot, the people, the dead bodies,
Yeah.
the animals,
Right.
the sewage.
Yeah, I can't-
mean,
Yeah.
you could see the refrigerator on top of the house. You could see the cars turned upside down, the house was ripped apart, but you don't smell it. And that smell's never gone away from me.
Exactly.
I was down there 23 months rebuilding homes.
Right.
And I'm telling you, right, that was devastating.
that was a bad day for me. I didn't know why because I was in control of everything. The power at the shop went out. I went there, checked everything. Everything was good. Of course, the roof was leaking thanks to my landlord. Shout out to him. So he's told me he's never going to fix the roof. So I said, don't fix it. So you know what I did? I went up into the ceiling and I bought gutters for like $6. And everywhere there's a leak, there's a gutter goes into the empty stores that he's got there. So
You gotta-
he's going to throw me
you have
out.
to do-
What are you going to do?
you
He
have
ain't
to
going to
do
throw me
it.
out. He wants my money every month.
So you do leak repairs.
I do leak. Yeah, I do. I
that's
do
the
gutters
best.
too.
You do gutters.
Yeah, I staple them right to the house. You
He's
love
a
it,
gutter
like I
guy.
do.
You're a gutter guy.
Sandy was so bad, and I didn't know it was that put me in such a bad depression. It was Halloween. That was the day.
Right. Yeah, was it right before
And
that?
I'm running
right?
around, generator here, we had three generators, and going between our three neighbors, and I did what I had to do, and then I realized, oh man, you know, here I am, my kids taking the trick or treating, and I'm having a good time,
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
but I've got something going on, something coming up in the back of my
Yeah.
head, and I'm like, oh shit, and it was Hurricane Katrina. What was the last one? Sandy.
Sandy.
Hurricane
was in
Sandy was
Louisiana, yeah.
was that, you know, set me off.
well, I
again.
just saw, you know, there's so much we can go on and talk about. We have like probably a minute left or so. But first, I want to thank you just for being the guy you are. That we connected
Yes,
immediately.
thank you, but you don't have to thank
when
me.
we met.
It's
Well,
all understood.
Yeah, but you know what? Any guy that can come on and
Yeah.
throw his emotions out on camera to
reach
everybody.
out.
I
Just
said
to
I'd do
reach-
anything for you guys.
I know, but if everybody reached out, I mean, that make the world a lot
Yeah.
better.
I
So
wish
it just-
I hope they
It would
reach
make
out.
people
If everybody
understand that they
reached
could
out.
talk about it, and I really do hope that. a
And
lot
not
of
just
people-
about that. Just reach out, man.
Everybody at work,
help out.
the police department knows I'm a little joke, I'm a little goofball, and they know I'm wear my heart on my
Yeah.
sleeve.
But it makes
But
it
they
easy.
know I'm just.
You're all
It makes
hard.
it- you're
I'm
approachable.
first through the door. Nobody would ever say they wouldn't go through a door with me because I go through any door. I don't care.
Well, we hope the program keeps up. We hope
Yeah,
you
I
get
hope
better.
so. Thank
we
you
hope
very
the
much.
people out there watching get better.
We're gonna have you on one day to do some music.
we got
Yeah,
we got
yeah,
more stuff to do with
Stand up
you.
because you also do some stand-up
Yeah,
comedy.
it's got that weird art thing going on. I got like a gay gene in me somewhere.
It's okay. It's all good.
But we do have to say goodbye. It's our hour's up.
Yeah, we want to thank Anthony Lafemina, who's the owner
My
of Devil's
pleasure.
Den Tattoo.
In
Where is it
Copac?
located?
1265 Montauk Highway.
In Copac.
In Copac.
Go see Tony for a nice tattoo. Next week we have Matt Nappo on. I can't even tell you what he does because he does it all. So join us next week, 6 p.m. live. We thank you for tuning in tonight. We love you guys. Have a safe weekend.
Peace.
Peace out.